Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to EFL Championship Predictions. We are back for the weekend games after a pretty crazy midweek. I'm joined by Sophie. How are you?
Not too bad, could be better. I didn't do the best midweek, as you're now going to mention.
I did get the better of Sophie, a 10-5 victory, which has put me in front for the first time in a long time in Championship Predictions, 140 to 139. I am winning in Championship Predictions. Before we get into the predictions themselves, guys, I must say once again, let's go for a big like target. 1,100 likes would be appreciated. You guys have been smashing it recently. We really do appreciate your support, so please make sure you've hit that thumbs up button. And once again, if you haven't already subscribed, it is free to do, and we are so close to 50,000 subscribers. As you can tell, all I want for Christmas is 50,000 subscribers. On to the predictions then, Sophie, and let's just start with Ipswich Town versus Norwich City. Whew. The East Anglian derby.
Yeah,
first time they've played in a few years as well. And what a time to be playing each other for Ipswich Town, really, because they are on a high. They just keep winning, Sophie. They won in midweek against Watford. But to give Norwich their credit, they come into this on a couple of decent results, and they beat Sheffield Wednesday in midweek. But let's be honest, Sophie, Ipswich have had a better season so far and come into this as red-hot favourites, and they have the home advantage. One thing I will say though is obviously I remember these two locking horns in the Championship a few years ago, and Norwich did always seem to get the better of Ipswich, or if Norwich didn't win, it seemed to be a draw. But things have changed, times have changed, Sophie, and I can't not go for Ipswich. This Ipswich team is different gravy.
Yeah, they are. Norwich
do come into this in decent form, which makes me think they get a goal and they compete. But Ipswich are so good. Ipswich 2, Norwich 1.
Yeah, sometimes with a derby you think, do we consider form going into this? But I think you can't ignore Ipswich's form. They're just unreal. Even sometimes when you think, okay, are they going to drop points here? They turn it around somehow. So for me, Ipswich win. I wanted to say 2-1 last time. You went for that. And it did come out, but I went 3-1. This time I'm going to back 3-1, and they're going to do me justice this time. Ipswich to win 3-1. Ipswich to win 3-1.
There you go. I mean, they're on an incredible run of form this season. Sophie, yes or no, are Ipswich going up this season?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yes.
On to the next one, Sophie. Let's go to Ashton Gate. Bristol City take on Sunderland. And Sophie, Sunderland have come back to life.
They have.
I mean, at the time, we were a bit like, why have they sacked Tony Mowbray? But they certainly have had a bounce.
They have, which does happen sometimes.
Yeah, and they've beaten West Brom and Leeds, you know, two very decent teams.
Yeah.
This game's away from home, but Bristol City are not completely perfect. They're very, as I said last time, they're very mid-table, and once again I mean that in no disrespectful way, but I did back them to lose 2-1 to Blackburn, and that's what they did. I think they will finish around mid-table. It's going to be interesting to see how both of these teams do in the second half of the season. Bristol City with Manning still maybe transitioning somewhat, and Sunderland of course haven't brought in a new manager as of right now. Bristol City 0, Sunderland 2.
I'm going to say 2-1 to Sunderland. I do feel like Sunderland are going to make it a 3 for 3. As you said about Bristol City, they are a bit meh sometimes. Like if you just look at them, you think, meh? What are they really going to achieve this season? I don't think a great deal. You never know, they could put a good run together and be up there, but I don't see that happening. Do see them getting a goal though, but for me, Sunderland walk away winners, 2-1.
2-1 to the Black Cats.
Yes.
Yeah, both go for Sunderland in that one. Share your thoughts on Bristol City versus Sunderland. On to the next one then, Sophie, and we've got Hull City versus Cardiff City. This is like the battle of the dark horses this season, I suppose. The Tigers versus the Bluebirds, and they are both really in contention for the playoffs this season. I maybe expected it a little bit more from Hull City.
Yeah.
And they did get a result in midweek whilst Cardiff didn't. Let's talk about that. I backed Hull to win 2-1 at Middlesbrough. It's what they went and did. I think the Tigers do have a genuinely good chance of doing it this season. Meanwhile, Cardiff, they lost at home to Birmingham, Sophie.
Yeah, who's seen that coming?
Yeah, a bit unusual, let's be honest. But credit to Birmingham, we'll come on to them later. But Cardiff, not a great result after what's been, a great season so far. Can they bounce back? I tell you what, I do think this will be a good game. I don't think there'll be a lot in it, but I'm going to go for the home team. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Tigers.
Do you know what? I feel like Hull have got it in them to turn over a team, and I wasn't very impressed with Cardiff against Birmingham. Saying that they have had a good season so far and they do look a good team, but I feel like on their day, Hull are the better team. For me, it's going to be quite convincing. 3-0 to the Tigers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, bloody hell. Share your thoughts, guys. Hull City versus Cardiff City. Is it going to be a close game? Is it going to be a battering? Let us know your predictions for that one. On to the next one then, Sophie, and we go to Ellen Road, of course. We are going to this game. If you're a Leeds United or a Coventry City fan, do look out for our match vlog coming out Saturday evening. First things first, Sophie, I've never been to Ellen Road, neither of you.
No.
Looking forward to it.
I am. Massive ground, good atmosphere, good set of fans. So
absolutely. Leeds United are a big historic club, and they are doing very well this season, but they lost in midweek, Sophie. They lost to Sunderland, and in the same week, both Ipswich Town and Leicester City continued to win. So Leeds United have fallen behind again. They have to win this game. Top 6 for me for Leeds is defo going to happen. That's the minimum this season. They've got to be challenging for that top 2. But I don't know, they just can't keep up to Ipswich Town's standards.
It is ridiculous standards though. Because we can't even like say, oh, this is on you, Leeds. It's just the standards that Leicester and Ipswich are setting.
Absolutely.
It's just unreal.
So I do think Leeds United really do need to win. As for Coventry City, Sophie, we both backed us to get a 1-1 draw against Southampton.
Yeah.
It's what happened. I thought we played quite well, but then again, Southampton played reasonably well. I think it was a fair result.
Yeah, do you know what? I do think it was, because when you're biased, sometimes you think, oh, we should have won that one. But really, Southampton were a good team and they created some chances as well, so...
Yeah. Leeds United are on a similar level to Southampton. I mean, Leeds are 3rd, Southampton are 4th. This game's away from home, Sophie. I think Coventry can give a really good account of themselves, but I just think Leeds are desperate for the next 3 points, and I might go Leeds 2, Coventry 1. It wouldn't be a disgrace if Coventry lose this game, and obviously I would rather we didn't lose, but it's a very difficult one. I'm just leaning with Leeds.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it could be a little bit like the Ipswich game where you think 2-1 to a team that's in really good form. Okay, it's not the worst result in the world considering where we are. They've got some great players. And again, they're another team that when they get clicking, they can absolutely wipe the floor with teams, and I don't think we've seen enough of that. I'm not about to say that we're going to get beat 4-0 or anything daft like that, but I do see us losing this one, annoyingly. Yeah, I agree with you, 2-1.
Yeah, both going Leeds 2-1. I tell you what though, I am looking forward to it. I mean, obviously I don't want to lose, but it might happen. It's part of football, but I am really looking forward to getting to Ellen Road. We'll see you there, Leeds United fans. On to the next one, Sophie. Let's go down to the Den. Millwall take on Huddersfield Town. Difficult. They both lost in midweek. They both conceded 3 goals in midweek, but Millwall, you know, gave a real good go at Leicester City, didn't they?
For a bit, yeah.
Yeah, and they lost 3-2, which is not exactly a disaster.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's losing to Leicester this season. Huddersfield Town, they lost at home to Preston 3-1. A little bit surprised by that. They've been doing all right under Darren Moore. Not a lot to separate the two, so if we could go for a Darren draw here, but I tell you what, maybe those signs that we saw from Millwall is making me think they might get their next win. It's a long time coming for Millwall, and they are at home, so let's go Millwall 1-0.
I'm trusting Millwall 1-0, they're back. Yeah, I mean, Millwall at times against Leicester, I mean, they obviously got 2 goals, but yeah, when you go ahead and then you fall 3-1 down, you just think, oh, you've just thrown that away. But obviously they got that late consolation. Huddersfield to lose at home to Preston, not great. When Preston aren't really scoring that many goals, to concede 3 is not good at all. So they're going to want to bounce back from that as well. So back to the drawing board for me. 1-1 draw. 1-1
draw. I like that. Very funny. Very funny. Share your thoughts, guys. Millwall versus Huddersfield. Which way does that game go? Big game in the bottom half next, Sophie, as we go to Devon, home park. Plymouth Argyle take on Rotherham United. Rotherham United, of course, lost to West Brom at home in midweek. And Plymouth went away to QPR. We got a draw.
Got a draw, yeah. Getting closer to your first away win, but
that's a solid point.
Yeah.
QPR have been in good form.
They have, yeah.
And I tell you what, Sophie, when I look at these two, I think to myself, they're both better at home. aren't they?
Yeah, they are, yeah.
So who's at home? Plymouth. I'm going Plymouth.
Yeah.
I also think Plymouth are the better out of the two. That's what the table will show you. But I do think if this was at Rotherham, I would maybe lean towards Rotherham, just because I'm not sure with Plymouth on the road. But when Plymouth are at home park, they are a different team.
They are. They look very confident at home.
Rotherham have now brought in Liam Richardson. We'll see if that works. I'm going to go for Plymouth here, though. I think Plymouth, like I said, at home, they're strong, and they got a decent away point in the week. Plymouth 3, Rotherham 1.
Oh, I'm going for the same deficit, but I don't see Plymouth conceding in this one. I am going to back them to win. I'm going to say 2-0 Plymouth. As you say, they're the home side. They play better at home. Rotherham, to be honest, you don't know, because when a new manager comes in, you don't know what to expect. Is he going to hit the ground running, or is it going to take a few games to get up to speed? And I think it might take a couple of games there, because he's got a hard job on his hands, let's be real. So for me, Plymouth win 2-0.
The next game, Sophie, is at Deepdale. Preston North End take on Watford. Difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
These are two, top half teams this season that are kind of on the fringes of the playoffs, if that makes sense.
Who do you think will finish higher out of the two of them?
I don't know, to be honest. At the start of the season, I would have probably said Watford. But the thing is, with Preston, the more points they keep accumulating at the start of the season, the higher they will finish. In midweek, Watford lost and Preston won, but I'm still tempted to go for a draw here. I don't know, maybe that win for Preston away at Huddersfield is a little bit of them turning a corner. Maybe they're going to start going on another good run of form here. But I tell you what, there's not a lot in this. I will just go for Preston. I haven't backed them enough recently, and maybe, just maybe, they can turn the form around and, reignite their playoff push. Preston 2, Watford 1.
Finding it hard to pick a winner in this one, because I don't want to say a draw. Do you know what? I'm going to go the other way. I feel like Watford, they kind of need a win. Preston have just put in a good performance against Huddersfield, so their confidence will be high going into this. But I don't see them backing it up with another win. So for me, Watford 2-1.
Oh, there you go.
So the other way.
Yeah, both splitting on that one. Yeah, share your thoughts on Preston Watford, guys. Really difficult to split that one.
Yeah.
Preston maybe come into it in better positivity and a better mood after this week, and they have the home advantage. But share your thoughts, guys. Another big game in the bottom half, Sophie. Well, it's in the bottom three. Is Sheffield Wednesday versus Queen's Park Rangers.
Ooh,
wow,
this is big.
This is a massive game. Yeah. Now, they have both been improving, but they both stuttered somewhat in midweek. But to be fair, Sheffield Wednesday went away to Norwich, and although we both backed Sheffield Wednesday to win at Norwich, maybe we just got
carried away.
Caught up in the excitement of Sheffield Wednesday have won a couple games. But I tell you what, this is winnable though. They are at home to another team in the bottom three, but then again, QPR, Sophie, they've really been improving under Cifuentes. But their 0-0 draw at home to Plymouth was, I don't know, a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, and they were playing against 10 men for a long portion of that game.
Exactly it, yeah.
I think this one's very close. Both really could do with the win. Does a draw do much for either? It probably does more for QPR because they're on the road and they're higher up. Wednesday need to win. And although I've really enjoyed both, I am going to pick a winner. And it's Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, Sheffield Wednesday, I'm saying it, Sophie, I'm not just saying this for fun. They have got a chance. Sheffield Wednesday 2, QPR 1.
I think the Wednesday fans will be glad to hear that I'm not going to back you to win this week. The one time I did, unfortunately, you lost. So I feel like both teams are going to be so desperate not to lose this that it's going to end up a draw. So I'm going to say a 1-1. Which, as you say, probably suits QPR a little bit more, but it's not great for either. They both need to win this.
Yeah, interesting that. Yeah, I think it could be a draw though, but yeah, share your thoughts, guys. I'm intrigued to know what you guys think on Sheffield Wednesday versus Queen's Park Rangers. Next up, Sophie, we're going down to the south coast as Southampton take on Blackburn. Now, of course, we saw Southampton on Wednesday night. Kind of what I expected, not just because we predicted a draw and we predicted Southampton to have about 99% possession, but very good going forwards. They've got lots of quality, but maybe at times you can still get at them, and I thought their weakness and Coventry's strength in that game was us, dispossessing them when they're knocking it around at the back, maybe just a bit too casually. I think I'm going to go Southampton here, Sophie. I know I did back Blackburn to win 2-1 in midweek, but I think this is because it's been 2 draws in a row here for Southampton on the road. They're back at home now. They need to win this. Even if they draw, it's incredible because they'll be 14 games unbeaten.
Yeah.
But I am going to go Southampton here, Sophie. They need to make up some ground on that top 2. Southampton 2, Blackburn 0.
Oh, to 0. See, I was actually going to say another draw, but I do feel like being the home side, Southampton are just going to edge this for me. Blackburn, again, they're a good team. They've got some good players there, so it really could go either way.
Yeah.
As you said with Southampton, for me, they have a lot of the possession, but really it's what are you doing with it? Because if you look, 75% possession, in teams like Man City, when they've got 75% possession, they also win like 3-4-0. So it's doing something with that possession, which we do see sometimes with the Russell Martin team. But very good team, so I am going to back you to win 2-1.
2-1 Southampton.
Yeah.
After all that.
After all of that slating, yeah, I'm like, but you're going to win 2-1.
Yeah, they are a good team though.
Yeah.
On to the next one, Sophie. Let's go down to South Wales. It's Russell Martin's former team, Swansea City, and they take on Middlesbrough. Interesting matchup here. Swansea City have been in and out of form. They're kind of winning, drawing, winning, losing, winning. They're a bit sort of patchy, which has them mid-table. They do like a late goal, though. They're taking on Middlesbrough. Now, I like Middlesbrough. I think they've got a very good team, very good manager, very good fan base. And I still maintain that they could make the top 6 this season. But they're doing a little bit now what they did at times last season where they just wobble. And to be honest, as much as I like Middlesbrough, I'm going for Swansea here. I backed Hull to beat Middlesbrough in midweek and it worked. I do think Middlesbrough will turn it around eventually, but right now this run of form it's not great. I know they're suffering with a couple of injuries.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, so if Swansea have home advantage, I'm going to go Swansea 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to sitting on the fence here. I'm just finding it hard with Middlesbrough to predict you right now just because of the injuries. You're a different team, but I do feel like you've got enough to at least get a point here against Swansea. So I'm going to say a 1-1.
Okay.
Which, yeah, it wouldn't be a bad result really, so...
Yeah, it's decent. Yeah, share your thoughts, guys, on Swansea City versus Middlesbrough. Next up, Soph, let's go to the West Midlands, where West Bromwich Albion take on Stoke City. West Brom back in our good books. They won against Rotherham after, previously having back-to-back defeats. They take on Stoke, Sophie, who, of course, we mentioned they sacked Alex Neil, and then in midweek they got a draw against Swansea. So easily could have been 3 points.
It was so nearly 3 points. You nearly got me a point, but right at the end you threw it away.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Stoke City are capable of stunning us here. But I'm going to go with the more reliable option, which is West Brom. I don't know what it is with Stoke. I do think there is a good team in there.
There is.
And there's good players in there, but really not consistent. And West Brom, Sophie, I maintain it. They are getting a top 6 finish this season. Really good manager, going in the right direction, playing the right way. West Brom 2, Stoke 0.
Yeah, I mean, I was gutted for Stoke to not pick up the 3 points. And I know a lot of their fans were fuming with the goalkeeper after it, and to be honest, if you need a player playing well to start getting points, it's your goalkeeper, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think that's letting them down at the moment. What did you say, 2-0?
2-0.
Yeah, I was feeling a 2-0 West Brom as well, but I might give Stoke a goal now. Say 2-1 to the Baggies. I can't not go with them.
Yeah, it's very charitable of you there.
I know,
It's Christmas time, isn't it?
You can have a goal.
You're giving Stoke a goal. Share your thoughts, guys, on West Brom versus Stoke. There's one game left, Sophie, and how about this for a game? Birmingham City versus Leicester City. The Rooney Vardy derby.
Agatha Christie, but on the pitch.
Wow, this one is interesting. And I tell you what does make it a little bit more interesting, Sophie, is the results in midweek. Birmingham City, credit to them, they went away to Cardiff and won, and we did not say that they would, we didn't fancy them, so credit to them.
Yeah, they're on their up.
They're on the up. As for Leicester City, we did mention that they beat Millwall 3-2. I don't know, not totally convincing, I guess, and to concede a couple goals, strange enough. But then again, they keep winning. Why am I trying to find problems? Yeah, you can't really find problems with this Leicester team. They are going up this season. It's obvious. Yeah. I'll tell you what. With Birmingham having home advantage and having won in midweek, I reckon they'll make it close, but once again, really boring. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go for the obvious, which is Leicester City. I'm going to go Birmingham 1, Leicester City 2.
Wow. Colleen Rooney won off the pitch. Can Rooney win on the pitch? No, it's Leicester, isn't it? I do see you getting a goal, though, but I think for me, Leicester, they've just looked very good going forwards, at times a little bit shaky at the back, and are susceptible to conceding a goal, which I do think they might do against Birmingham. But it'd be great for Birmingham to get another result after their win, because that was a big 3 points that they needed, but I don't see it happening. So for me, Leicester win 3-1.
3-1 Leicester?
Yeah.
There you go. Share your thoughts, guys, on Birmingham City versus Leicester City. That wraps up our Championship predictions for this weekend, guys. There's no EFL Championship predictions in midweek, so you'll have to join us again for next week's games, the final games before Christmas time. Thank you for joining me, Sophie.
Thank you.
Guys, make sure you've dropped a like and subscribed. We will see you all in the next video. Peace out.